We have two types of databases. One is OLTP, the other one is OLAP. So why do we need to go for OLAP? Why can't we start generating reports on OLTP? Can you answer?
OLTP is day-to-day applications, right? Like if you want to generate the reports, we need some day-to-day reports means it updating day by day, like any minute.
Then we have current data in it, right?
Yes.
So then we'll get exact data what we want for reporting purpose, right?
When you are trying to make a reports, like if some user using that database, like it can overwrite on it. We can't generate for everything in the data report. We can generate the data for current processing, right?
We can do that, but let's see some scenarios. What exactly the issue that we face when we try to create reports on OLTP. OLTP means online transaction process. OLAP is online analytical process. Now, here I have some scenarios. First scenario, let's say there is a company called ABC Pvt Ltd, which has multiple branches in multiple locations in India. And in all these locations, let's think that this ABC Pvt Ltd is a retail market company, which is a store, which has stores in multiple locations. Now, in each location, they are using their own local database to store the information. Let's say here Mumbai is using SQL Server, Delhi is using Teradata, Chennai is using DB2, Bangalore is using Oracle. So each store, they have their own database, and the data is stored in their local machine. Now the sales manager wants quarterly sales report. A sales manager wants a quarterly sales report on all these branches, wherein he wants to pull the information from all these branches and show that as a single report on a quarterly basis, so that he can check each and every item in which location has huge demand to improve his revenue. He's just checking the demand for items in all these stores location wise. That's the reason that he wants quarterly sales report on all these branches. Can we create a report combining all the information, connecting to multiple databases? The scenario is something like this. Each location has a database. Sales manager wants quarterly sales report per branch for first quarter. So here we face an issue wherein, since each and every store has its own database, a report should be able to connect to all those databases from the remote system. And a report should be able to connect to multiple databases and pull the information and combine the information at report level, which is not possible. Whenever you try to connect to multiple machines, if any one of the machine is down, or if you are unable to connect through network, report will not work. The second issue is performance issue. Since the data is present in multiple databases and multiple networks, so it has to read the content through network, which will take a lot of time because of multiple connections. So these type of issues that we face when you try to create a combined information, when you have multiple branches located and with multiple databases. So to overcome this issue, we extract the sales information from each database and we store it in a common repository at a single site, which is again another database, but we call that as a centralized database. How do we extract the information from all those branches and load it into the centralized database? By using ETL tools. Have you heard of ETL tools before? Extract, transform, and load. ETL tools like Informatica, Data Stage. We have a lot of ETL tools in the market. So we use ETL tools to extract the data and load it into another database, which is target database. So we regularly extract the information when we close the business. Let's say today you have got around 100 sales and you have entered that information into the local database. As soon as you close the business, these ETL jobs will run in the background and it extracts whatever the current records that you have got today and load it into the data warehouse, so that the next day you will be able to observe those records in your data warehouse. So there will be always a time gap between the current data and data warehouse data. Data warehouse data will not be always current data. There will be some gap, maybe 12 hours, because once you close the business, then only you are going to load the information, right? So the decision will be taken by the management, whether it will be 12 hours or 10 hours or 2 hours, based on the ETL jobs that they run. So that's the reason we maintain a centralized data warehouse database. Now, since you have complete information in a centralized database, we can create a report on top of that data warehouse database, combining quarterly sales information of all the branches, which is faster. At the same time, analysis will be easier since you are connecting to a single database. Any questions so far? No? Okay. Let's say another scenario. So one-stop shopping supermarket has huge operational database, which is OLTP system, and it doesn't have any branches. Now, can I create report on OLTP system directly? Why do I need to build a warehouse? Even in this scenario, you need to build a warehouse. The reason behind that is whenever executives want some report on the OLTP system, it becomes slow and data entry operators have to wait for some time. Normally, database will be busy in working hours while data entry people entering the data into the backend database. So normally what happens when you purchase any item in a supermarket? When you go to the billing counter, they use barcode detector and they start entering the information into their local system. They might use multiple applications. It might be a web application or desktop applications wherein they have a form-like structure. They start entering item code number, barcode, price, quantity, and they generate the bill. As soon as they generate the bill, that information will get inserted into the backend OLTP system. OLTP system is nothing but a database. Now, when the system is busy in getting the records into it, and at the same time, the management wants to see the report. When you try to run the report, now the table is busy in getting the records into it. What happens sometimes, the table will get locked when you try to run the report, or it will take more time to run your report, and you will get an error stating that the system is busy and could not read the database. Even if you are able to read the database, that is not even current. So you need to ask data entry people, wait while I am checking the report. If that is the case, it's going to affect your business, right? No one is going to wait at the billing counter for a long time. So that's the reason, even if you have a single operational database, you need to build a warehouse. Not only One reason here, the way how we build operational database, which is OLTP system, it supports data insertions and updation. And of course, you can also read when we try to build OLTP system, or when you try to create a new database called OLTP system for your application, all the OLTP systems are application-oriented databases. What we do in OLTP, how the tables will be generated using normalization forms. Have you ever heard normalization forms before? What is normalization form 1, 2, 3? So data normalization is nothing but we divide the information into multiple tables. For example, you are entering any customer information, all customer contact info in one table, address info in another table. So like that we split the information and we relate those two tables by using primary key and foreign key relationship. So to avoid redundancy, to avoid duplicates, we do this in OLTP system. So since you are storing the information in multiple tables, the number of joins will increase. Whenever you try to generate a report, you need to combine or you need to join all those tables to read the content. As number of joins increases, SQL query performance decreases. So the structure what we create in OLTP system itself doesn't support multi-dimensional analysis. Performance issues, you can't perform any multi-dimensional analysis, and at the same time you cannot create anything because of the availability of the system, which is OLTP system, which is busy, and you will not be able to run the reports. These are all the issues that you face when you try to create reports on OLTP system. So that's the reason we again create another database called OLAP. So OLTP and OLAP, you will definitely see the table structure differences. OLTP doesn't contain dimensions and measures or facts tables. It consists of relational tables wherein you have all the information in a single table. There is no distinction between measures and dimensions. What is a measure and what is a dimension? Customer information, customer name or his contact info, all this information comes under dimensions, which describes your transaction. And quantity, price, all this information is known as measures, transactional information. These measures on which you can apply aggregations like sum, count, minimum, max. Whatever the fields on which we apply aggregation, we call them as measures. We have this information together in some tables, but wherein in OLTP system, the way how we store, the information will be same, but the way how we store in OLAP is different when you compare with OLTP. All the information is divided into two dimensions and facts in OLAP system. So we extract the data needed for analysis from operational database. Again, we don't extract complete information from OLTP system. We just extract what we need for analysis purpose. What does it mean by analysis reports? First of all, why do we need analysis reports? Can anyone answer? Have you ever heard of analysis reports before? If yes, why do we need to have analysis report? What is the purpose of analysis reports?
I'm sorry, what's the question?
So the question is the difference between operational reports and analysis reports. Why do we need analysis reports? Who is this? Is my question clear?
To see the specific data, like when you want the analysis data, you want to see the specific, like not the granular data. You just want to minimize data of what you need, like what you requested, maybe.
For example, can you give me any example?
Like you want to see North America, like what is the profit and what is the cost and what is the how much you sold, and is depend what your report is, it material management or SD or financial side, is depend on the report. And then after that you want to more narrow down, like what you sold, how much you have, and what you require to build more to sell it. So like those kind of analysis you want to see more in analysis report.
Yes, thank you. So analysis reports are nothing but which will be used mostly by the management who runs the business. Analysis reports. And why do they need these analysis reports? To analyze their business and to take some decisions in order to improve their business. Let's say, for example, I'll just give you an example, like in India, so to book a ticket, a railway ticket, we use IRCTC website. There is an online website to book tickets, railway tickets. Now, when you book any ticket, what kind of information is required for the customer? A current availability or future date availability of seats, right? Now, as a customer, do you need the seats availability of yesterday's or day before yesterday's? Not required, right? The current date and future is important for the customer in order to book any ticket. Now, what happens to the historical information? As it is not needed, who is going to look into the historical information? As a customer, I just book a ticket and I'll just click on a print. You can generate the ticket. You can get the printout of a ticket. That is known as OLTP report, operational report. Now, coming to the historical data, this history is required by the people who run the business. What do they do with that information? They will generate a report on that historical information, something like, I want to know between station A to station B, how many tickets were sold last quarter, last year. He'll try to analyze from last 3 years which location has huge demand. How many people are traveling to this location, from this location to this location? They'll get that analysis report and they will analyze it and they will come to know the demand in a specific location. With that analysis, they can take a decision that this 2 locations has huge demand in the market from the past 3 years. And if I start a new train in the same route, I can generate more revenue. Then they'll start again going for special trains to generate more revenue in the business. That's why we need historical information for analyzing the data or for analyzing the business. You will not get this type of data warehouse solution when you start the business. No one will approach you the day one when they start the business. They want data warehouse. Always the people who have completed maybe 6 months or 1 year after starting their business, after completing 1 year, then they'll start analyzing. They approach IT department. See, I have OLTP system with me. I want this type of analysis reports to build. Help me. So they have OLTP system. They approach you and they will analyze what kind of reports that they want, what kind of data that they want to generate the reports. With that, data modeling people will generate a model in the target database, which we call it as data warehouse database or OLAP database. As soon as they create the model, then source database with data and the target database with the structure will be given to ETL developers. What is the job done by ETL developers now? They have source system with the data and they have a target with structure. Now using ETL tools, they extract the information from the source database and they transform the way how they want in the target and they load that data into the target database. So as soon as you have the data in that data warehouse, reporting people come into the picture. They use that as a source or AP system and they generate the reports on top of it. So that is what happens in a complete data warehouse architecture. And that's the reason why we need data warehouse to build analysis reports. Those are all the scenarios that I'm showing here. There are 3 scenarios. One shows how to merge heterogeneous systems. The second one shows why we need data warehouse even if you don't have heterogeneous systems. And the third one shows what do we need, what we do with analysis data, which will help you to take the decision whether you need to go for expansion or you need to go for an improvement in the business based on the analysis of the data. With all these scenarios, what is data warehouse? A data warehouse is nothing but subject-oriented, integrated, time-variant, non-volatile collection of data in support of management's decision-making process. What does it mean by subject-oriented? A subject-oriented means, let's say, a data warehouse is organized around subjects such as sales, product, customer. Let's take an example of a banking sector. In the banking sector, you have operational database for multiple applications like loans department, savings account department, bank card or credit card, and trust. Each and every department has their own application and application-oriented databases, which is operational databases, OLTP systems. Now, the same information, when you extract and store it into your data warehouse, the way how we store in data warehouse is this: customer, vendor, product, activity. Customer means customer might be from loans account or savings account or credit card or from customer, or from trust. Everywhere you have customers. We put all together under a single database, which we call it as data mart. Customer data mart. All customer information will be at a single site, single database, which we call it as data mart. So information is same, but the way how we store in data warehouse is different when you compare with operational database, which is OLTP system. That's why it is known as subject-oriented. Collection of multiple data marts is also known as data warehouse. So that is subject-oriented. Now, integrated. We have seen the first scenario. Integrated means extracting the information from heterogeneous systems. Like in the first scenario that we have seen, extracting the info from SQL Server, DB2, Teradata, and putting together in a single location. That's why data warehouse is known as integrated. Subject-oriented, integrated, and then time variant. Unlike normal OLTP systems, we store historical information in our data warehouse. And the decision will be taken by the management whether they need to maintain 5 years or 10 years history in the data warehouse. Based on that, they load that historical information in the data warehouse. That's why it is known as time variant. You can always pull the information 5 years ago from data warehouse. Non-volatile. Non-volatile means once you load the information into data warehouse, we will never update that information. For example, let's take HR module. An employee is working in an organization for almost 5 years and he got promoted and moved to a new location from location A to location B. Normally what do they do in an application, HR application? They'll open that employee ID and they'll update the employee location from location A to location B. Now what happens, the same record when you try to load it into data warehouse, you already have that employee record in data warehouse with location A. Now using ETL jobs, when we try to load the updated information from the source, we are not going to update as it is in the backend data warehouse. We are going to store this newly updated record as a new record in data warehouse so that whenever you are trying to analyze his information, you can get so-and-so employee at so-and-so time where he was working and now where he is working. You will get the complete history. So once we load the information into data warehouse, we will never update that information. Any updated information that comes from the source will be tracked as a new record in data warehouse. That's why it is known as non-volatile. So that is about the definition of a data warehouse: subject-oriented, integrated, time variant and non-volatile collection of data in support to decision-making process. And there are some differences between operational and information. Operational means OLTP, information means OLAP. So I've listed here the differences between those two databases. So these are all some differences. With all this definition and the differences, data warehouse architecture looks like this. Remember, data warehouse is not a database. Data warehouse is a solution that contains all these tools together. And data warehouse is not readily available in the market. You need to build your own data warehouse solution based on the customer requirement. So in data warehousing architecture, we have source databases, which we call it as OLTP systems, and target data warehouse database OLAP system, collection of data marts, subject oriented, and ETL tools and reporting tools. As a report developer, we are at the end of the life cycle of data warehouse, which is reporting. So as a report developer, you should know from where you are getting the data, who are all involved in this data warehousing project, what happens in the background. Until unless ETL people load the data into data warehouse, that data will not get reflected in your reporting tool. Even though you are a report developer, you should know what is happening in the background. That is about data warehousing. Any questions? No questions? Do you have any questions?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. So again, to get more knowledge on dimensions and facts, how they are stored in backend data warehouse, everything is explained in this slide which I'm going to share. You can see what is the difference between OLTP and OLAP, how the table structures in data warehouse like star schema, extended star schema, and snowflake schema. So I hope you might have heard about this, but this is how the data will be stored in OLAP that supports, multi-dimensional analysis. More in-depth knowledge of OLAP service. Now I'm switching over to business objects reporting tool.
Sir,
Any
quick question. Yeah,
yes, please.
Yeah, question. No matter what application we are using, either is a SAP VI or a business object, the background is the same, like where we extracting the data. This is we learning is business object, right?
Process. Yes. Whatever that we have learned in data warehouse is process. Now, coming to this architecture that I have shown you. Yeah, this one. Now, in the year 2007, let me give you some background what happened. So what's your background? Is that SAP? Nadeem? What's your background? Have you worked on SAP applications before? I think you are muted. Okay. So now here, in the year 2007, now you might have seen multiple vendors in the market, database like IBM, Oracle, SAP. Let's take 3 examples: IBM, Oracle, SAP. Now, till year 2005, if you want to build data warehouse, what are all that you need in order to build data warehouse? As per this diagram, we need source database. Everyone go for Oracle mostly as a database. And target database for data to build a data warehouse or OLAP system, we again go for Oracle. But when you say ETL tool, everyone goes for Informatica. And when you say reporting tool, it's for Cognos. This is how it used to be in the market till 2005. Because in each and every area, you have some master applications in the market which has a huge demand. ETL means Informatica, database means Oracle, reporting means Cognos. Now, business has changed. Each and every, biggest MNCs in the market, they have taken their own decisions in the year 2007. The first change that occurred in year 2007 is Oracle acquired Hyperion and IBM acquired Cognos and SAP acquired BO. Why? Now, coming to SAP, SAP has huge market throughout the world. It has SAP ERP market, almost 44 to 47% throughout the world. It cannot improve much because it has already acquired a lot of customers throughout the world. Now it has to concentrate on SAP PI. And what is lagging behind in SAP PI? In SAP PI, we used to have SAP BW application, which is SAP BW 3.5 followed by, and they released the latest version 6 and 7 now. Now in this SAP BW, there are a lot of bugs and very less number of options that are available, especially when you talk about reporting side, which is BEX reporting. Now, SAP has decided to have a new reporting tool like the other big MNCs who acquired Cognos and Hyperion. Even SAP has decided to have a reporting tool which is Pvt, and SAP acquired Pvt in the year 2007. Now, why they are doing this? To build their revenue in BI market. That's why if you observe in the complete data warehouse, let's say I have a customer who is using OLTP system, which is SAP ERP. Now he wants to build data warehouse solution and he's going for another vendor like Informatica or Oracle Target database. Why should my customer need to go for another a vendor in order to get a solution? Why can't I provide the same solution? That's where they started building their BI solution very strong in 2007. Now, if you take the example of SAP, the OLTP systems, SAP ERP, ETL system, SAP BW, reporting system, SAP BO. Let's take Microsoft products, OLTP system, SQL Server, ETL SSIS, SQL Server Integration Systems, Target Data Warehouse Database, SSAS. You can store it in the form of a cube or you can store it in the form of relational database. And then reporting system, SSRS, SQL Server Reporting System, which we call it as complete MSBI. So like that, each and every company has their own data warehousing tools in the market so that they can build more revenue. The customer, there was a lot of issues when you try to integrate, when you try to build a data warehouse solution using multiple tools, like you are using SAP ERP and ETL tool as Informatica. So a lot of issues, and they need to spend a lot of amount of money on top of it to build a data warehouse to integrate different systems. Sometimes it doesn't support. Sometimes if you get an issue, someone says it's not my issue, you need to talk to Informatica, and Informatica says you need to go back to Oracle DBA. So customer support was also not good, and at the same time they need to spend a lot of amount and a lot of time because of multiple tools. Now everything is single SAP tools you can purchase as a SAP BI solution with less amount, and you need not worry about the resources and the customer support. Now everything is service-oriented architecture. So that's the reason that they are building their own tools to replace or to avoid the dependency of other tools. All SAP applications runs on backend relational database till today, right? It might be DB2, Oracle, or SQL Server. Now SAP has decided, why should I need to go for other database to run my applications? Why can't I have my own database? Now they have introduced HANA. SAP has their own database. So process is same, tools are different. Whether you use Informatica, whether you use BW, The process what you're trying to do is extract, transform, and load the data in the target data warehouse. But the way how you do it is different from one tool to the other tool. Any questions? Okay. Now coming to business objects reporting tool. So business objects is an independent reporting tool using which you can create reports on any database. You can use any database as a source like Oracle, DB2, Teradata, SAP, BW, anything. You have a lot of database support because business objects is an independent reporting tool. They concentrated only on reporting side. Now, how does this business objects works? Once you build a warehouse and you have the data, and now you want to generate a report. How does it work in business objects? Business objects consists of, so the version what we learn in this training is SAP BO 4.1. This is the latest version which we are going to cover in this training session. And the tools that we cover: Universe, and also IDT, which we call it as Information Design Tool. And then Webby Reporting Tool, Crystal Reporting Tool, and Dashboards Designer, with Live Office and Query as a Web Service, and then widgets, and then some part of admin. Some part means we cover scheduling and security. These are all overall tools which we want to cover in this training session. And how does this business objects works? Have you ever seen Microsoft SharePoint? Anyone? What is Microsoft SharePoint? What is Microsoft SharePoint? Have you ever heard of it? In any organization, we use Microsoft SharePoint in order to share some documents through web. We publish those documents and that will be shared across multiple employees in an organization. The same process we follow here in business objects. Since we have multiple reporting tools here in business objects, we have report developers and users. As a report developer, we build multiple reports in our local machine, and in order to share those reports to your clients, we store them in a centralized location which we call it as Business Objects Server or Business Objects Enterprise Server, using which is a centralized location using which a customer will be able to log in through web and can run the reports through web. The interface that we use is BI Launchpad. So this is the machine where I have business objects installed. I'm going to click on a link that opens the BI Launchpad. As soon as you run this through URL, you will be prompted to log in. And as soon as you log in into Business Objects and Enterprise, you'll be able to see the content which is published there. This is the dashboard which you will be able to see as soon as you log in, wherein you have recently viewed documents, inbox, wherein you can share some reports between one user to the other user in business objects. Business objects have multiple users. And the list of applications. Now how do I open a report and run the report? It will be, when you go to the document tab here, you'll be able to see the folder-like structure like how you see in a normal operating system. And in each and every folder is going to act like a categories. You have some names. If you want to see those reports, just double click on folders. You'll see the list of reports. If you want to run any report, just double click on that report. It opens that report. Displays the output. Now, if you want to refresh the report and see the latest data, so these are all heavy reports. Try to show you crystal reports as well. Just double click on the report, it opens the output, and you can always click on refresh button. When you click on refresh, it gets the latest data from the backend data warehouse. This is the report, and you have a refresh button here. Click on refresh, it hits the database and gets the latest data. And you have multiple pages here. You can go through this report, and you can also perform drill down operations. So as a report developer, we build multiple reports, and we share those reports through web application called BI Launchpad in Business Objects Server by publishing all those reports in a centralized location. So we have two jobs. One is report developer and administration. So we have report developers and VO administrator. VO administrator job is just to manage the content of centralized server. Once you get those reports, we need to publish them, we need to place them in a folder, apply the security to the users who are all have access to that folder. All that administrator will be taken care by VO administrator. And report developers, they'll just create the report, design the report based on the customer requirement. That's an overview of business objects. And in the regular class, we can discuss about business objects architecture and all these tools. With this, we come to an end of the demo session. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Any questions?
Yeah. Hi Raghav, this is Sudhir.
Yes, Sudhir.
Like I have a question. Like I have done my MBA finance, and earlier I done SAP finance and controlling also.
SAP FICO, FICO?
Yes, right.
Okay.
So how is the opportunities like being an MBA finance? Can I do?
See here, since your background is at SAP FICO, opportunities are more on FICO side. I mean, are you a functional side or technical?
Functional side.
Functional, right? As you are planning your MBA, you are completely on functional.
Yeah, functional.
So functional has huge market, but if you have both knowledge, it would be great. Now, the best tool for you to learn is BPC.
What is that?
SAP BPC.
BPC. Okay.
business planning and consolidation. And any area, whether it is SAP FICO, SAP HR, CRM, anything, reporting tool will be always BO.
Okay.
Okay? Whatever the module that you have worked on, you have functional knowledge or technical knowledge. You need to generate the reports, then you need to depend on BO reporting. The data might be coming from FICO or any other modules like MMPP and so on. Okay?
Okay.
So reporting tool is always for analyzing the reports. From all the SAP systems, wherever that you get the data, ultimately it lands into here.
Okay.
Any other questions? No questions?
No questions.
Okay.